Edward Snowden did a long-ranging interview with the Washington Post, and he had some great lines and sentiments that I wanted to share with you. First of all, he says, quote, "For me, in terms of personal satisfaction, the mission's already accomplished. I already won. As soon as the journalists were able to work, everything that I had been trying to do was validated. Because remember, I didn't want to change society. I wanted to give society a chance to determine if it should change itself." So let's stop there for a second. I like what he's saying, and it's a very classy thing that he's saying, but I actually take it a step further. Like, I find it interesting that he's hedging there, and he's saying, oh, well, as long as these guys have the conversation, well, then I've done the right thing. No, I would say that you should have exposed it to stop the practice. Not like, oh, let's have a discussion after I give you the facts. No, the facts are clear. The facts paint a very black and white picture that the government is just flat out violating our Fourth Amendment rights. We have a protection from unreasonable search and seizure. If the government does invade your privacy, they have to get a specific warrant, keyword specific warrant in order to do it. And they just flat out stopped abiding by that. It's like the Fourth Amendment doesn't exist anymore. It was destroyed under Bush, and then Obama put it into hyperdrive and made it even worse. I mean, how many stories have we covered? They're spying on people playing World of Warcraft. And the argument is, well, because it's an interesting way to communicate that's off the radar, we know that the Taliban and Al-Qaeda are going to try to use that outlet. So that's why we're going to spy on you. So how many plots have they foiled? How many Al-Qaeda operatives or Taliban operatives have they found on World of Warcraft? Donut. Zero. Did they stop spying? Did they say, you know what, this was a failure and we're needlessly invading people's privacy? No, of course not. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Collecting all your emails, all of your metadata. I mean, I always use this classic example because it's true. It's just it's so clear. It's so straightforward that Grandma Dorothy, 87 years old, does nothing but collect her Social Security check, go to church 4 days a week, volunteer at charity, and watch reruns of The Golden Girls, which, by the way, is a fantastic show. Why should she get her information collected in a bulk collection program when she didn't fucking do anything? I mean, it's a simple thing here. If you have evidence and a reason to spy on somebody, okay, get a warrant. Get a warrant, and then you could spy all day and night. There's something that was put in the Constitution to look after things like this, specifically for this kind of fear. Oh my God, we need to spy on them. Okay, get a warrant and then you can. Now, he continues here. This is also interesting. Quote, "I have no relationship with the Russian government. I have not entered into any agreements with them. If I defected at all, I defected from the government to the public." So he's directly responding to accusations of people telling him, oh, you're a traitor. Oh, this is treasonous. Oh, you defected from the U.S., and his response is, no. If anything, I defected from the government of the United States to the people of the United States, which, by the way, is who the government is supposed to be representing. So he is a constitutional hero. He is an actual whistleblower. Here's a guy who, simply put, stood up for our rights. You know, I know a lot of people hate it when you put it in terms like that, but it's true. The guy is a constitutional hero. He's going to go down in the history books just like Daniel Ellsberg does today. I mean, at the time, Daniel Ellsberg, oh my God, he released the Pentagon Papers. He showed how the U.S. was napalming and using Agent Orange on all these different places in Vietnam where civilians were getting killed. Oh, how could he release that? Oh my God, did he hurt the feelings of the people in power? And he released information. This is illegal. We can't allow this. That was back then. Then a few years went by, and what do people say? Well, obviously, this guy's a hero. We would have never known the atrocities we were committing if he didn't release those papers. Of course he should have released those papers. He was doing what was in the spirit of the Founding Fathers, what is in the spirit of the law and the Constitution. And the government was doing the opposite. That's the irony here, is that the government is the actual criminals. They're the ones who are actually violating the law. And I asked this the other day. I'll ask it again today. If Edward Snowden was found to be correct by a court, as he just was, with the whole case with Larry Klayman, and he said that the NSA is violating our Fourth Amendment rights, and the judge was scathing in his opinion, saying that's totally and true and obvious that the government is violating the rights. Well, if the courts vindicated Snowden, then shouldn't Snowden be allowed to come right back into the country, all charges dropped, and shouldn't he get the sincere apologies of the United States government? They won't do that, will they? They won't, but here's what's for sure. They certainly should.